Right.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Well, I love God. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a business owner. I get to steward a business.
Hey, what's up, Big Bob?
What's up, Ann?
We've got a lot of stuff going on today. I think you should introduce this awesome guest.
Wait. Today.
Today.
Did you get your haircut today?
No, I'm getting it done tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Looks great.
So I'm going to have them filter it.
Take all the gray out?
Yes.
Lucas
Yeah.
Ingala.
Hey.
Thank you very much for showing up
Thanks
today.
for having me. Yeah,
God.
appreciate it.
How often you go to the gym?
4 days a week, at least.
Really?
Yeah.
Big weights,
I've
little
been-
weights?
I've been slacking lately though, but I was on the big ones and I got hurt, and so now I'm back down to the little ones. But
Once you hit a certain age, bulk is no longer important. Strength is, and strength comes from the little weights, many reps.
yeah, I
When are
think
you
I'm
going to
gonna
start
try.
working on that?
I think I'm gonna try
anymore.
CrossFit.
Though I do stretch, and as you get older, my age, I'll be 73 next year. Flexibility is more important than core strength or endurance or cardio. It's the flexibility is really important.
Right.
So you can bend over and pick something up.
And not
Highlight
get
of the
stuck.
day. Highlight of the day. Lucas, there are very few people in all of Kansas City, let alone the rest of the world, who know who you are.
But they should.
No, not really.
There's some people I don't know that I need to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Well, I love God. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a business owner. I get to steward a business.
But wait, hold, time out.
Yeah.
So before you got here, and saying, how well do you know Lucas? I said, Lucas, we all have pillars that we built our foundations on, right? And
Sure.
this man has 3 equally sized pillars that hold up his platform: religion, family, business.
Yeah.
They are all, I mean, God, of course, first, and family comes second, I'm sure, and business takes a
Yeah.
back third, but there's nothing else that he's built his platform on.
Right.
And I said that before you got here, and I asked him, who are you? And he goes, God, family, business.
We just shut
That's
the
all
show
I
down
need to
now.
know.
We're
Done.
done.
We're done.
We
All right,
did
that's
it.
all you
Right.
need to know.
No, but I want to talk about all 3 of those, because
Okay.
that's who you are.
Yeah.
And by the way, our format is not about us.
It's
Our
about you.
format is about you.
But we may bicker, but just ignore it.
Sassy.
Because-
She's sassy.
You know,
Is she?
he gets in my
Yeah.
way sometimes. I've got some very intuitive and important questions, and he pops in with something.
No, you got nothing important to say. Anyways, tell me. You can't do that in front of the
I didn't
kids.
do anything.
You found God. Have you always been religious?
My grandpa owned a produce company here in the River Market area. Came over on a boat from Italy, from Sicily when he was 13 by himself.
They're not members of the mafia, are they?
No.
By himself at 13?
I think I saw that movie. Go ahead. Sorry.
And The Godfather 1, 2, and 3. But came over and started a wholesale produce company. I think when he was in his 20s or
Wow.
early 20s.
That's the American dream.
Right.
We were talking about that earlier. Oh, by the way, Brenda Ring is here. She's our executive producer. She is the founder of the Be the Best You Foundation, which makes this all possible, which we all subscribe to, believe in, and trying to help be more successful.
Nice.
Thank you, Brenda.
Yeah, thanks, Brenda.
We'll be
And
calling on you for your support later.
I thought there was a reason why I was here. So came over and kind of started his way here in Kansas City and made his way. He knew Walt Disney and his brother Roy,
Cool.
and was connected, here in town. And a lot of people, he's a well-respected businessman. Had a lot of people working for him. He sold a lot of wholesale to a lot of the groceries in town,
restaurants.
and would take it in. He'd go to California and come back with trucks and stuff in restaurants. And
Big time.
yeah, and
Big time.
wore 3-piece suit every day. And if a tomato was missing, no one left. Had to find
Wow.
a tomato. So.
How was it with strawberries?
I think he was a little loose on the strawberries.
They made a movie about the guy who was counting strawberries. Cane Mutiny. Was that Cane Mutiny that they were?
didn't see that.
The ship captain has a fetish about strawberries being missing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think he's just making stuff up to sound smart.
No. Go ahead.
Interesting. So I had a good faith foundation with him, and I think my grandma. So I was raised Catholic, Italian, and German. Had a good foundation in the church, and I went to CCD and did all the stuff, and was pretty faithful to that. And I had a lot of encounters when I was a kid, just 9 years old. I remember praying for little things. Can I go to my buddy's house, or can I have this friend over? And but I really learned how to, I think, talk to God through those times, and I started like hearing them, and I kind of had this.
You heard God.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was 9 years old, and he showed me the church and how it was kind of set up like a religious organization, and it was all about money. This would have been in the probably the mid to late 80s, and how it was set up kind of like a religion, and then he showed me Moses and how kind of he consulted his father-in-law, how he should kind of administer to all these millions of people, and his father-in-law, you can't keep doing this. You're going to die. You're everybody's answer, right? And so kind of showed me the structure of that, and I'd never even read the Bible. I mean, when you're Catholic, you don't really get to read the Bible.
Look, I find this fascinating. Was this one vision? Did it take hours, or was it a flash, an inspiration that just
Or an intuitive knowing.
or just hope that you were
No,
overwhelmed
I
with?
remember the first time I started just learning how to talk to God, and it wasn't real impactful, but I would pray to him. I'd hear his voice, or he would answer something, and I thought, well, this is a relationship, And,
When you say
covenant.
hear his voice, I mean, do you literally hear it, or is it just a knowing that comes from within?
So it's little confirmations. So you might hear something, and God says, "Go do this," and then all of a sudden, something random will happen, and it lines up with completely what he said to you, and you're like, well,
Okay.
that was interesting. Okay. And so, it's a learning process. And sometimes I've had people come out of the blue, just walking through the parking lot, and they'll come give me a word, and it was exactly what God's been talking to me about. So,
Wow.
how do you add that up? How do you, but then, it took time, and I would learn how to pray. And I really learned how to kind of what they call intercession for people,
Right.
intercede for people, which is where you're essentially taking the things of heaven and bringing it on earth, and you're interceding for somebody. And I remember I was 9 years old and just crying in my room and praying for people that I'd never met before. And God really moving on me to have this spirit of, what I know now is called intercession, where I'm standing on the gap, kind of like an attorney between heaven and earth, and I'm praying for people and having the things of God happen here in the earth.
Please keep me in your prayers.
You
need
need
a
to
lot
keep
of
me
them.
in yours too.
But
I do keep you in my
that begs
prayers.
the question too, because so many people in today's world, myself included, are fueled by a lot of anxiety and the what ifs and the
Yeah, for sure.
hypotheticals. Bearing in mind the type of relationship you say you have with God, has that all but eliminated any fear or anxiety in your life because He's at the helm for you?
Yeah, well, my background hasn't always been this way. So, raised Catholic, grew up that way, and then kind of lost. I was the oldest, so I had to go try everything and experiment with everything. And I did that from the time I was probably 10 to 26. I was really kind of introverted and quiet kid, and God really changed me when I was younger, and I became popular in football and girls and all the stuff. And then it was about me. And I'd forgotten that it really was him that gave me these abilities. And
Right.
I kind of took him out of the picture.
Yeah. Youthful. You can write. Look.
Call it youthful, call it. I
Look,
think if I would have had somebody in my life that was like a mentor, someone that would have helped guide me, I don't know that I would have made the decisions that I made.
Right.
I was just kind of trying stuff and figuring it out.
Do you like the path you've taken?
100%.
If you had discovered that this path when you were 12 or 15, you would not have been on the path that has taken you where you are today. I am convinced that you are today because of the ambition, the ego, the self drive that you were able to develop for yourself between 10 and 26 that you may not have developed if you had stayed on that path that you think you might have wanted to been on.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have ended up in the same spot because really, even when we started the business, it was really God putting the pieces together. I mean, just how we, and I get what you're saying. There's this motivation, ambition, drive, but sometimes we can get in the way. I can get in the way, right? Luke can get in the way of Luke, right?
No shit.
And
so, okay, we're going to tie all of this together.
but to answer her question specifically,
My question isn't important.
no, it is a question because I think a lot of people deal with anxiety, and I think they deal with fear. And the Bible talks about we shouldn't have a spirit of fear, but a spirit of faith. And faith and fear can't coexist.
Right.
True.
And
love and fear cannot coexist.
And love and fear can't coexist.
So if you love God, you can't be fearful of God.
Well, you should always be fearful of God, I think. There's a healthy
Respect.
fear. There's a healthy
Please.
fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I fear you on some level.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
should.
gosh, I was just talking
as
about that.
a mentor, I'm not going to walk in, but I'm not going to walk in here and think I run the show. I'm going to respect him for who he is. So there's a healthy fear, and but we're supposed to have a sound mind and a sound heart and a sound body. It doesn't mean I had a lot of residue, I guess is what I was getting to, and I had to break a lot of things off of me, and I had to renew my mind. I had to change my thinking, and it took time, but I had to
a good guy.
I had to read. The Bible really helped me because it was something that I could trust. I'd been hurt, everything, all the things of life had come at me, but I had to renew my thinking, renew my mind. I had to kind of rewire my brain, and I still have to do that today. If I'm off track, I know it.
Yeah.
If I'm not, I'm really, I call it, I never was addicted to anything, but I think I'm addicted to the presence of God now.
Well,
And I got to get with Him.
That's beautiful.
To get
that begs
my mind.
stay out of this. I'm talking to him. That begs the question. We're supposed to do this.
You just hang on to yours and she.
Okay.
I have to know because this is almost weird to admit. First of all, I'm sitting here looking at you. If I'm staring at you weird, you remind me a lot of my oldest son, who's 28. Your presence, your look, the way you are. He's Catholic. He's got this huge faith. He's everything. I'm just like, I'm talking to my son later on. I don't know.
That's cool.
I mean, I'm just, whoa,
Yeah.
that's Alec. But are you one of these people who believes in, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, everything happens for a reason?
I think there's a law of sowing and reaping that happens. And I don't subscribe to something bad happens that happened for a reason. I think there's evil in the world.
Right.
And I think we live in a fallen world. And that's why we need a savior. But, God doesn't want bad things to happen to people, right? I think things do happen and they can happen. But, there is an enemy. There is a war going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of started from the foundation of the earth. If you think Michael and Gabriel, those were the archangels, and then there was Lucifer. Well, when Lucifer left, there's a third that left, and then God creates man. What do you think our job is? It's to kind of fill that gap and bring glory and honor to him that was left. And so, he is, we do have an enemy that prowls, and Satan is here on the earth. And I think if we don't recognize that, then we're kind of.
Look, I don't want to get into the total just.
I'm answering a
I
question.
know. Have you seen the movie Sound of Freedom yet?
Oh, I want to see
No.
that.
I haven't, but I heard it's really good.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. I walked out of that movie. I almost walked out in the middle of the movie. It was so disturbing.
Really?
Now, no graphics. No, it's PG.
Okay, good.
I
I
mean,
don't know if I could
visually-
handle that.
Visually, but you don't
Yeah.
see,
If it was bad.
what you don't see is man's evil potential a man.
Yeah, I think there's a difference.
it was-
yeah,
Disturbing how evil the capacity of mankind is,
yeah, 100%.
to your point.
100%.
And, I don't want to give away the movie, but it's a must-see movie. Must
I
see.
think there's a point when we're talking about evil, there's some where it's like, I just didn't know I was doing something wrong, right?
Well,
But then there's a point.
there's making mistakes, there's doing wrong things, and then there's evil, malicious, purposeful evil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the world. Look at the world before Noah.
Right.
You know, everyone did what was right in their own eyes, and
The world today. I mean, come on.
yeah, sure.
We don't have to go. We don't have to go back to the Bible. We're living in chapters of the Bible right now. It just
We are.
hasn't been written yet, but we're living it. All right. Before we get too far going with one topic, because there's 3 pillars we need to talk about.
Well, my question could segue into one of those.
Go
if you
ahead.
Just
What's
shut your pie hole for
You know,
a second.
maybe people want
What
to,
pie hole?
David. People probably want to hear this.
They do,
Yeah.
because there's probably a need for it. But it's interesting because the way you are and the way you're faith-based, that can obviously translate to your business and the way you can be a steward to your
Yes.
community through your business. So how have you seen, since you started Watchmen Security, that you've been able to infuse the community with this positivity
Yeah.
and this uplifting thing? Because there's
That's
so
what
much
I was going to
negative-
ask.
I can just say it better. There's so much
Yeah.
negativity in this world.
Yeah.
How do you see your business?
Yeah. One thing we do is we have core values that are lined up. Attitude, it's a rise, and it's attitude, responsibility, integrity, servanthood, and excellence. One thing we do every day is we'll highlight those core values every day on a team call. So it's 5 to 15 minutes, and each member of the team, each manager leads the call, and then each person in our team will say something good about somebody. Hey, David did a great thing and showed servanthood the other day to our customer because he delivered carpet and it was after hours, but this customer really needed it and we're behind on our deadline. So they highlight everybody, and it creates this atmosphere of encouragement and wanting to uplift. And, I think if I start thinking that this business is mine, then I'm going to be really
Right.
messed up.
Right.
If this is about me and myself and money and what I can do for me and my
You'll
wife
fail.
and my family, it's all about
No. It will never fulfill its potential.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
It will feed you, but it will not feed.
if I get off and it's about Luke or Lucas, some people call me either one. My mom calls me Luke, and other people call me
Lucas
Luke.
when she's upset.
Yeah, exactly. I just know that I'm not any good without the Lord, and I know that I don't even know that I would have a good marriage. I probably wouldn't be the father that I need to be. So I recognize that, everything that I have in my life is really fruit, and I get to steward it. It was given to me. It's not mine. It's on loan, and I get
love the word steward.
and I get to steward it because now it takes all the pressure. I have to facilitate and orchestrate and put on this fantastic show and really show off him. It's not a religious thing, but just show off him and who he is and all that he's done. So when people see Luke and Megan and they go, oh, wow, what are the Ingalas like? Then I want them to see fruit and go, wow, I want to be a part of that tree. I'd like to have an apple.
Have you seen how your presence as an individual within that realm has affected your customers in any way?
Yeah, it's a good example. So if you look at like Chick-fil-A, they're kind of founded in similar values, and it's a $25 billion chicken company. And, you go to one and they're all the same. And, it's my pleasure. And you always have that spirit of excellence. And yeah, I think there's a ripple effect that happens. It's like, so goes the leader, so goes the group. And I think our customers, if you look through our Google review threads, we have like 95 or 100 and some, 4.9 or something like that. But if you look through in our attrition rates, like in our industry, it's about 10 to 12%, and we're at 3. So if you look through that, I think it is, one of our core values is servanthood, and we're serving our customer. I mean, money is exchanged for us doing, it's a certificate of authentication to say, hey, you did something great for me, I'm going to give you money. So we get to serve our customer, they pay us. And so, yeah, it does ripple. It does. It's a feel, and I want, when people interact with Watchmen, I want them to feel God in some sense.
Where did you go to college?
I didn't go to college. I dropped out of school.
Wait a second. You didn't go to college. Go figure. Where did you get your education?
Why'd you say it like that?
because it's part of my.
Is that a chip on your thing?
No. I've had two presidents of Big Bob's. Neither one of them went to college. I think college, unless you're becoming a doctor, lawyer, and accountant, is greatly over exaggerated. The value of it, the
I would
hard knocks,
agree. Yeah.
the hard knocks is way more important.
Well,
But-
colleges are there to make money. and
No,
some people don't know
colleges are for the step from living with mom and dad to living out on your own. It's the bridge between learning some independence.
that. Very expensive.
Very expensive.
My kids needed it.
Right. Some should go to the military for it instead. And I think, by the way, if we ever got into politics, I believe the answer is a more established vocational universe. But I don't like vocational schools. My term is professional education.
Yeah.
And so somebody at 16 wants to become a plumber. He goes through this real
It's a more
program.
focused,
Right,
gifted.
becomes a plumber, makes $100,000 a year, buys a house, and maybe he starts his own business, and he's a member of a middle class, because I believe one of the problems in America today is we need to rebuild the middle class, and that's how we do it through professional education, vocational schools, and I'm not a big believer in four-year colleges unless you need it.
Did you know that only 3% of college students that go into college actually
Actually
come
do.
out of college with what they went in to do?
I didn't. I was a gym teacher. So
I'm not knocking.
Where-
I'm just stating
tell me, how did you start your business?
hope and a prayer. I was going to school of ministry. I didn't go to school of ministry to become like a pastor or something. I just wanted to learn more about God. I don't know. I was just interested in it. So I was in school of ministry. I needed something to do at night. My dad owns a construction company. I was a bricklayer. I laid brick and I carried mason and mixed all that stuff.
Good for you.
Worked out.
Good honest work.
Yeah, I did that when I was
Sleep well
I
at
did
night.
that when I was 10 years old until I was 26.
Sleep well at night.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
got
it's a good workout.
good workout,
Yeah,
yeah,
good
that's what I was
workout.
saying.
Good on your body. And then, so I needed something to do at night because I started going to school till noon. And if it rained, we wouldn't have work or whatever. And so I answered an ad. I saw an ADT ad. Hi there, I'm Lucas Ingala. I'm the founder, owner, and CEO of Watchmen Security Services. We specialize in building security solutions like video surveillance, access control, intrusion, and fire alarm systems. For multifamily communities, we help provide a smart apartment experience and community Wi-Fi access that you can provide for your tenants. So whether you're a commercial or multifamily developer, property manager, or an owner of commercial office buildings, we tailor our security services to fit your very specific needs. We allow you to focus on your core business while we ensure the safety of your people and your investments. You can depend on Watchmen for reliable protection and seamless connectivity. Visit our website at www.watchmankc.com or call us at 816-744-8900. I saw an ad on the thing and on Craigslist or something. That was back when you used Craigslist to get a job. And I answered it, and they said, I said, I got to have Thursdays off because I go to church, and I got to have Fridays. And, I gave them my schedule. And they said, yeah, that's fine. And I started knocking doors, and they gave me so I went door to door, and they gave me like a stack of flyers with no training.
Mark Cuban would
And I was
be very proud of
I was a 1099 contract salesperson, which I didn't even know what that meant. I could have made my own schedule. But we would all get in a van and they would drop us off in a neighborhood. And so my neighborhood was Independence.
Is there a lot of rejection?
My first neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Not the most affluent part of our metroplex.
it was on Wednesday. It was on a Wednesday night. And I got people just screaming at me. I was there and I had people banging. I'm not, because I'm interrupting people's dinner and stuff.
Right, but that's the time you got to go.
Yeah, and you had to get in the door, right? That was the big thing. You had to get in the house. So, but I had people pull guns on me, dogs, girls coming with their robes on, and just everything, right? Every slice of humanity, and it was weird because when you're out knocking doors, each neighborhood had kind of its own. If there was a attitude in the neighborhood, every house had it.
Yeah, I
It
get
was the
that.
strangest thing.
I get that.
Like they were either really generous or they were really like protective or whatever. So I did that, and I really was horrible at it. No training, stack of flyers, kick me out of the van and go walk in this neighborhood and talk to strangers and figure this thing out. So it was. So I thought, man, this is hard. But I was in some debt at the time, and I needed to get out of that. And the guy that was mentoring me, one of our pastors in the school, he said, if you're going to influence people and help people, you should probably get out of debt. It's not good to have debt. Okay. So I had this tally mark in my basement, and I would tally how many deals I needed to get out of debt.
Oh gosh.
So I lived with a bunch of guys, like 6 guys in this house, and I lived down in the basement on this other side. I shared a basement with this other guy down there. And so a couple of days went by, and I thought, I'm going to go out on a Saturday and just figure this thing out. So I go in a neighborhood, Independence again, and I thought, if I could just get in the house, then I think that's half the battle, right? So I got in the house, and then I just started calling my manager. Hey, I'm here with Sally and Bob, and we're talking, and they got this system and this and that. Oh, okay, well, go look at this and go look at that and go do this and look at that, and kind of played, I guess, what you'd call dumb or the dummy curve. And I didn't really know anyway, and I didn't have any training, so I thought, well, he could just teach me now. And
I wish I learned that.
On the job.
yeah, on the job, and then I said, well, they got okay, we'll do that. Well, do they have this? Oh yeah, well, we can do. Oh, I got this special deal we can do for you. And so I'd sit down and get them at the table, and then so I started making sales. I started doing pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I think I sold 3 that Saturday. And then next thing you know, I'm the top sales guy for them. And then it was month in, month out, and I'm working less days than all the guys.
And making
And I'm making more, and they're getting pretty angry because I would, we'd go out in a van, and I would be in a house at 10 o'clock at night. And they're waiting for me.
Get out.
Here we are, waiting for Luke again. So they're coming with maybe 1 or 0, and I'm coming with 3 or 4 or 5.
Wow.
And my manager, how are you doing this? What are you doing? And I don't know that I really know how it happened.
I know how it happened.
I think it was.
Well, you want me to tell you?
I mean,
You want me to tell you why
Sure,
you're
go ahead.
successful? You were sincere. You were transparent. You were hopeful. You were honest, and you could have sold the widget, not because you were the benefits of the widget, features, advantages, benefits of the widget, but because you were credible and people wanted to do business with you. That's what made you a successful salesperson.
yeah.
That's admirable. I tried
think
sales
so.
3 or 4 times, and I failed every time
Guess why?
because I'm not honest, sincere, and authentic.
I didn't say that, Ann.
But I know otherwise. I just failed, so I'm listening to you going, it's a gift.
I think a lot of it was they talk about the favor of God or God
Believing in yourself.
favor, but I think I had a lot of favor too, doing what I was doing. And the owners came and like, how are you doing this? And I don't know. I get there and knock on the door and, try to shine light and be a good person and talk to them. And I don't know. That's just what I do. And they were trying to put it in, they were trying to duplicate it. So then they asked me to become manager. I didn't know if I wanted to do that.
Peter Principle.
And then what'd you say?
Peter Principle.
What's the Peter?
Promoted past what you do best.
Oh, yeah.
You're a world-class salesman. Maybe you're not going to be a world-class manager. And if you're not a world-class manager, you might have left the company because you're unhappy with the new job description.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is an important part of running a business, is not promoting people past what they do best.
Yeah, so skill versus promotability.
It's called the Peter Principle.
So I hem-hawed. I didn't really know. And then I said, okay, I'll try it. And then they said, well, we'll have you be a manager with this other guy. No, it can't be 2 heads. There needs to be 1. So I became the manager, and I was running. Surprisingly, I was pretty good at it. I had one of the highest producing sales offices in Kansas City. This was 2008 when the economy was just crashing. I mean, we were in neighborhoods, and there was paper on houses just flapping in the wind, just desolate.
Oh man!
And we were writing sometimes 100 deals a month, and the owners were like, "We've never seen this here." And wow, what's going
What
on?
were you selling?
Security, home security.
Home Securities.
That's what we had,
You
82.
weren't selling guns?
No,
That's home
no, home
security.
security. Yeah, it was an
Or
alarm
dogs.
system.
Right, dogs.
But some people do.
Right.
Smith and Wesson, yeah,
Yeah.
Smith and Wesson Security.
Right.
And we did that, and I built that team up. We had 8 people, and they were all really good, and we were doing really well. I did that for a year. Then I thought, I wanted to kind of do something. I wanted to build something, and they kind of, because what we would do is write paper, and then we'd sell it every month. It's kind of hard to build a business when you're just selling it every
Yeah.
month. And, well, let's build something. Let's do something great, And they didn't really want to do that. I said, I'll work for free. And
So you want to do a spinoff, and have them as your backers and partners. And when they said no thanks.
no, my vision was I just wanted to keep the business. I wanted to keep the clients. I didn't want to
The
sell
monthly
them,
fees.
the monthly fees.
Right.
So I would sell it, and I'd do it for free, and then let's keep it. Make me a partner or something. But there was a partnership, and it just didn't. I don't know, they weren't interested. They were used to doing something.
Aren't you lucky?
I'm really thankful.
Yeah, you could have been stuck with those two bozos for the
Yeah,
last 15 years.
yeah, that would have been a rough deal.
So when did you start Watchmen Security?
It's been 12 years. Started it
years.
on my birthday, April 30th, and it was 12 years ago this year.
All right.
And
So
me and my wife just got married. My wife's the controller. We work together. She's worn every hat. We love it. We do great together. Hi there, I'm Lucas Ingala. I'm the founder, owner, and CEO of Watchmen Security Services. We specialize in building security solutions like video surveillance, access control, intrusion, and fire alarm systems. For multifamily communities, we help provide a smart apartment experience and community Wi-Fi access that you can provide for your tenants. So whether you're a commercial or multifamily developer, property manager, or an owner of commercial office buildings, we tailor our security services to fit your very specific needs. We allow you to focus on your core business while we ensure the safety of your people and your investments. You can depend on Watchmen for reliable protection and seamless connectivity. Visit our website at www.watchmankc.com or call us at 816-744-8900.
So what was your startup cost?
I think I had $10,000, but I didn't. I had money saved, but it was however much in equipment to go sell one system.
Less
So
than
it was, yeah.
Less than 10,000. We're not connected to the IRS yet. What do you think you're going to gross this year?
Revenue?
Yeah.
I'm on track to probably do $6 million this year.
All right. Congratulations. Fully blown, fully operational, 10 years, 15 years from now. Wait, before I get there, what does Watchmen do now? Tell me what Watchmen does now. What do you
Their
sell?
services?
No, yeah, what do you offer? What do you do? Just in case somebody on the audience wants to call you up, what are you selling?
I think it's really peace of mind. We help protect people's assets, but we're a cloud-based technology security company. Okay. So we do the door access control system.
Is this commercial and residential? Or just
Mainly commercial.
Okay.
If you want a residential system, it's high end.
All right, and you're doing multifamily.
Yeah, we do a lot. We have a multifamily vertical that we do.
So
Yeah.
you're at 6 million now. Where are you going to go next 10 years? How high, revenue-wise? Outside of Kansas City?
10 million. We're starting to already go outside of Kansas City.
Good.
10 million over the next 3. And then 50 million. We'll be 50 million plus over the next 10 years.
So you started a business with $10,000.
Bang it. I had it in the bank, but
Right. Well, it was a
it's
fallback.
more like 1,000.
It was a
or whatever,
safety
but
net.
Yeah.
And 25 years later, the goal is 50 mil.
I mean, the big goal is we want to be $1 billion security company.
Well, you're not going to unless you get acquired. And you're not going to. Maybe.
Don't
God,
discourage
God,
him.
David Green did it.
Right.
And he's 85.
Okay.
There you go.
He's got 8 billion.
So there's one more pillar, family. How many kids you got?
3. There's one of them sitting over there. That's Rebecca.
Rebecca. Come over
Hi.
here, please.
Come over here.
Just come over, just for a sec.
Building connects.
Aw.
I understand. You can build the necklace later. You've been an absolute dreamboat over there. Quiet and beautiful. Come on over, please.
Come here.
Aw, look how cute you are.
No, you got to come
Come
over
over here.
Come over by Daddy.
Over here.
Come on. Walk around
Go
the
down
table.
there.
You can
Put
say
her on
hi
your
to
lap.
everybody. Here, you can say hi to everybody. Come here.
Come on.
You're not shy.
Now, Rebecca, are you the oldest? The youngest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Are you the prettiest? Here, let me, because I don't, you have such a beautiful
He has
face.
2 brothers, so of course.
Oh, 2 brothers. How old are they?
There's 3 and then
And how old are you?
I'm 6.
You're 6.
You happen to be, only when you smile. When you don't smile, you're not so pretty.
Oh, she's
But-
pretty.
But when you smile, you are one of the prettiest girls I've ever seen. How about a smile?
Did you lose a tooth?
Yeah.
You
I
are.
want
She's got
another
one.
wiggly.
Another way. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you
boy.
want me to pull that out for you?
No.
You're an absolutely darling and so well behaved. She's been sitting here 45 minutes and she's made a necklace and she's made some earrings and a hat and maybe new shoes. What else did you make? We're almost done. But I just want to say thank you very much for sharing your daddy with us.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got an absolute beautiful daughter. She's gorgeous. So, family, business, God and church. Is it God and church or God?
I think it's God and church is mixed in.
God and
Yeah,
church
for
is
sure.
together.
For sure.
See, I believe in God. I just never believed in religion. But
Yeah, I don't believe in religion either.
Okay.
Yeah, Jesus came to kind of
right.
flip that whole thing around.
Right. So, but I don't think I've ever met anyone in my life. I've met a lot of people who are religious.
You've been to my church.
I know I have.
What church is it?
It's called Revive KC.
Big, huge
Where
church.
is that?
Blue Springs?
It's right next to Lee Summit.
Is
So
it
it's in Kansas City.
non-denominational or is it?
Non-denominational spirit-filled church, yeah. Stephen Cathy started it. Started in a little town of Smithton, Missouri, a town of 532. And from 1996 to 99, David's met him. 250,000 people came to that little town.
Wow.
And I would drive to Sedalia, or not Sedalia, Jeff City, and God would tell me I'm going to move over there when I get older someday. So Time magazine wrote about it, and a guy came out to kind of be a critic and ended up getting touched by God and wrote this great article. And then they moved to Kansas City in 99, and I joined in 2007.
The congregation.
We dropped from COVID, so there's probably about 500 of us now. We were about 1,000.
Beautiful.
But
beautiful
most people have, our church is unique. Most people aren't from Kansas City. They've moved out of town to go there. Probably 80% of our congregation.
A charismatic, dynamic,
Yeah.
spiritually infused leader
And they let you in?
through the back door.
Okay.
was
No,
great.
it's the side door. The side door. Right.
But if you come out, Megan sings. She leads worship, and you get
That's
to
his
hear
wife.
her.
Right. So
My wife, yeah.
I've met people who are religious. I've met people who are successful in business. I've met people who are devoted to their family, all with the same intensity you have for each one of those 3 legs. I don't think I've ever met anybody who is devoted intensely to those 3 legs at the same time as you are. And for that, I think that is the core of your success, the core of your meaningfulness, the core of your journey. I think that's who you are, and that's what you share. And that has always been my attraction to you, is that you are committed to all the right things. You haven't left anything out. Yeah, the Chiefs are nice, but it's not
Sure.
a core value for you.
Sure.
You don't chase money.
Sure.
You don't chase accolades.
Yeah.
You're just as well-grounded as anybody I've ever met in my life. And that is the main reason I am thrilled to death to call you.
But I have to ask you something though, and I'll shake your hand too. I have to ask you though, because you seem to have everything together. Do you ever have days where there's just challenges where you wonder how you're going to get through something?
Yeah,
sure.
100%. Yeah.
And God's not always going to give him the path.
Of course.
He has to figure out the path. Megan has to tell him the path.
Yeah, right.
Right. His employees have to
Yeah,
tell him the path.
for sure.
He's taking in information everywhere,
Daily, yeah.
right? And trying to
Well, you just make it look so easy.
One thing,
Core values.
one thing,
Core values is
one
what
thing
dictates
about
what he
God
does.
is God likes to be chased. He's always just a little bit further out there. Right when you think you caught him, he likes to, and it'll take your whole life to figure out this man.
Well, how about this one? Can't happen. We can't comprehend God.
Right.
I mean, it's beyond our comprehension. Look, I mean, how
Sure.
could we possibly, our emotional state, our intellectual state, possibly comprehend God?
Yeah,
By
you're right.
definition, right? It is our perception that who God is, our faith in God, that allows us to be connected and allows us to have core values that are based on our perceptions. But
It's not easy to answer your question.
Right.
I think, you know what David says, you have these pillars or these cores, and I think, that foundation, and trusting in someone else to, my life is in someone else's hands. It releases all the pressure. Doesn't mean things don't happen, but it's like, hey, if I go down, he's going down too.
see, what it is when he has a major decision to make, he goes back to his pillars.
Yeah.
What would God have me do? What would my religious upbringing have me do? My background, how is that
Well, how does it
influence?
affect
Hold
my
on.
family? Yeah.
My family. How does this affect my family? Is it good, healthy decision for them? Does it put them at risk? My business. None of this is possible unless the business is successful, that it can keep writing the checks for all the things that I think are important in life. And it has a balance in every decision he makes, is based on the three pillars, and sometimes not equally. Sometimes business overrules everything.
Mhm.
Ego gets in the way, and he has to fight his ego every day to make sure it stays in line with his pillars. But this man is the real deal.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to ask the question.
David, you're always so gifted at you can see and discern people.
Yeah.
I haven't told you any of this stuff. But what
I
you're
know
saying
that.
is, what you're saying
Kindred
is,
spirit, because he's
No.
in a way
I am not.
developing a business.
I am not nearly as pure and as simple as he is.
Everybody
And he's
has
not
that.
simple. He's very, very complicated, but he's clear. He is absolutely crystal clear
Yeah.
on what he believes. And it never conflicts with what he wants. Because what he wants is what he thinks is right. And what he thinks is right is what is built on the pillars. And this man lives a very simple life because he has the pillars.
But I did want to ask the question because it's part of I'm looking at your shirt, Watchmen Security, and when anybody starts a business, oftentimes naming the business is one of the most challenging
Yeah.
aspects. So is there a
Huge.
story behind that name? Is there a significance behind it that you might reveal that other people might not
You're
realize?
so right. I mean, when you name something, you name your dog, you name your kid, you name you name whatever. There's a power in the name.
Right.
And I thought, well, I want to do something biblical. And it's a security company, so how do I tie the two together? And just was praying about it, and I felt like God said, Watchmen. So then I started reading about it. And Watchmen were people, let's say Kansas City was, back then you had empires, and you had a ruler and all that. If we had a king here, King David ran Kansas City, we would be the watchmen on the wall that we would alert people if there was something bad going to happen, and the responsibility was huge because if something bad did happen to the town, it was blood that
asleep-
was shed.
you fell asleep on your
asleep
watch.
on your watch. You're scrolling Facebook on your watch. That was on you to take that responsibility on. So I just kind of was put the pieces together and fit. And I thought, oh, this is kind of neat. So that's how
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, but just a little business.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, we interviewed Kyle Witherspoon, guy who owns Johnny's, the taverns.
Yeah.
And what he's done to expand is he's made minority partners out of key employees who understand his core values and his business concept. And he said, you're buying into this partnership we're opening up in Des Moines. You're buying into this partnership we're opening up. I mean,
Yeah.
he did it here in town. And take your core people and give them a chance to be owners in their own market under
Yeah.
your flag.
That's cool.
That's
I
what
like
he did.
that.
Yeah. I was more impressed with it than a pure franchise. And certainly, we've talked about it. I never liked owning and operating my own national
Right.
company. There's too much exposure, too many responsibilities, too many things go wrong, too many hands in the pot, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
But this way, you have a vested interest partner who's on site 24/7,
Yeah, and you're giving people an opportunity.
giving people an opportunity to be more than just,
Yeah, I like that.
right.
I like that. I kind of looked at Chick-fil-A's model a little bit because they'll have you start up and you're a franchise owner, but they control everything.
Right.
And if you're not focused on them, then it doesn't work. And they go through a long list of, interviewees to pick the right person. So I'm as we scale and grow, all those things, I'm always trying to think again, what's good for the people and how can we give them an opportunity and how can I give back?
Right. So once this is finished, this interview is finished, Brenda's going to edit it. We're going to be putting it on YouTube and putting it out there. And of course, you're going to get a copy of it.
Okay.
Is there anything you would like to share with the thousands upon thousands of people who are going to see this about who you are? We know God, family, business. We got that part. Is there any secret you'd like to share nobody knows about yet?
A secret I would like to share. Oh boy, you'll have to look me up and we'll go have a cup of coffee for all the secrets.
All right.
I mean, I think really, I think what I'd like to share is just, regardless of the journey you're on, success is going to come or highs and lows. Just be authentic, be real, be true to yourself, and you don't have to impress anybody. Be who you are.
Luke or Lucas? Moving forward, I've always said Lucas.
Call me Lucas. The business community knows me as Lucas.
Lucas.
And the
Second
last
knows-
name again?
Ingala.
Ingala.
Italian.
Exactly
Ingala.
as it sounds when you see it. Right? It's the easiest last name possible to pronounce. Nobody mispronounces it. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you guys.
You've been
Yeah.
an absolute wonderful guest. Brenda will get you the copy for your archives.
Okay.
You can put it on your Facebook. You can share it with your family and friends.
Yeah, sounds good.
You have been a great addition to our program.
Thank
And
you
you could
guys.
be on again and talk about so much more.
All right.
Yeah.
What's up,
Awesome.
Big Bob?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm Big Bob.
And I'm Ann.
What's up? I'm Big Bob.
And I'm Ann.
What's up?